Shut up and sit down.
Hello folks, Colin here, Festa 67's workshop. Welcome to issue 81 of Build the Batmobile from the classic 1966 TV series Batman from our good old friends over at Fanhome. Now, if you'd like to grab this for yourself folks and build along with me, head over to their website. There's a clickable link in the description below. And you too can be building this wonderful, wonderful Batmobile, folks. Let's have a scoot through today's magazine. We got the Joker's Last Laugh there. Cesar Romero there, giving it the beans. Robot sequence from the TV show. Got the great Batman comics with Batman, Robin and Batgirl up there. Batman 06 Part 2, Monster Men. Year by year, continuation there. Nice, decent bit of artwork. I do like that bit, I must admit. I do like that one. Like a nice oil painting, wouldn't it, folks? Yes, Vesta. This week's car parts, we got the detector scope console, dials, switches and all of that lot. So we're going to be putting that together today. Nice, easy bit to do there. I've gone ahead and grabbed the wire. We need to pop into the chassis and you want to grab cable M for Mike, okay? So grab that because we're going to be popping that into the back of the detector scope, folks, and we'll be reconnecting that later on in the build. Fitting it to the dashboard just up there. And then we're going to be screwing the interior floor into the chassis, okay? So make sure you've got your cable runs sorted with your left and right indicators, brake lights, etc. Because once it's screwed in, you're not going to be able to get back under there, okay? Shows you where the screws are, going underneath there. And then what we're going to end up with at the end of this issue is the interior screwed in and the detector scope fitted. Okay, folks? So we'll pop the magazine to one side. We'll grab all of the bits and pieces and we'll start a bit of assembly, folks. So first up, we want 81B and 81C, like so. There's a little notch chopped out of there for that to fit in like that. So it's going somewhat like that, I do believe. So that's what it's doing, so it's following that. And then we want to pop that up underneath the console with the flat face facing downwards, okay? Somewhat like that, okay? And then that's going in with a couple of KP screws. So let's grab our screwdriver. We want a couple of the small bits today. So let's grab those. And we want a pair of those at the back there. So let's grab that. Bring in our bit of oil. Shove them out of the way a minute. Go. A bit of that on the end of there. And then we can fit them in. Just like so. Grab the second one. Again, same again, do a bit of oil. And we want to go up over there, just in there with this screw. Like that. And that pulls that panel in, like that. That's the old detector scope-a-roon doing its thing. Bit of detecting. Then grab our next screw, which is an AP screw. And this little chrome lens cover's going in next. It's going to sit on that post there. Okay, like that. I'm going to hold it in with my thumb. I'm going to use the tip of my wheeler just to flick that over, I reckon. Perfect. And then we can screw that home now. Just rest that on my knuckle. Try and guide that in there. Like that. There you go. So that's that in, and that's what's going to be retaining the LED in there. We've got loads of switches. Complete the detector scope by pushing the 2 bolts, 81E, 4 dials, 81F and panel 81H into the unit. Right, so we want all of this lot, basically. So what are we going to go with first? Let's have that in there. Detector scope. I love how everything was labelled. Always made me giggle when I used to watch the TV show that literally everything that was used had a little brand on it. Bingo. There's a little persuasionary press. Detector scope. Detector scope. Right, so that was those. Don't miss them now. Let's get our cutters out. And we want 4 of the dark switches, 81F. Which are those? So let's line these up and get them all in order, I think. And make it easier on myself. So they're 81F. A single is 81G. And they are 81E. Cool. There you go. So let's get 81E out of the way, I think. We'll have them. Get our cutters. Remove them from the sprue. Now these have potential pingage capabilities. So if you haven't fed your carpet monster today, now's the time to do it, because these will end up on the floor if you're not careful. So let's get this in situ. Like that. And try and get them in place. Gold and greens. That's what we want. These are perfect because these have got no serrations on them, but for putting in tough to push in parts, these are perfect. Like that. And it doesn't damage the part in any way. So let's put them over there. So that's that one done. And then we've got another 81E going in this top corner. Over there. And again, what I can do once these are in is I can go in with a bit of glue and get them firmly in place. So let's tilt that up the way. Bing. There you go. So they are a resistance fit, but they will fit. Let's grab A1F. Yep, grab them. 81G goes 1, 2, 3 down. So let's grab you then. At least I know you're in. You go in there. So let's try and line that up. Like that. Now we can cut all these other ones off, folks. So grab that. One of those. And one of those. Put my protectors back on. And we can start popping these on. Very tiny. Not built for a person with hands like mine. There you go. Just make sure that they're in. That's that one done. And we're angling at a 45-degree angle down the way. What I'm trying to do like that. And then we've got two more to do now. Use some of that. Put that in. And use those around the shroud just to home them down. And then the last one is going on there. You nearly fed the carpet monster then, didn't you? Let's get that on there. And that's that. Built. Phew. A little bit of a challenge. We then want to grab our bulb now. Pop them out of the way for a minute. Grab our bulb of bulbness and feed that in there. Nice resounding push. And that's the detector scope done. We don't want to drop that through the dashboard now. So feed the wire through. And let the scope find its home. Like that. And then that's going to be held with two AP screws. So let's grab them. Obligatory bit of oil. And we go and pop them straight down in there. Like that. Not fully homed yet because I want to get the second one in. Pink. Spin that round. Line the scope up. Drop that wire out of the way for a minute, Cole. There you go. And we can now send that fully home now. And come back round and home the other one. So that's detector scope in. Been rather nice, isn't it? And again, just making sure that I've got the label up the correct way. All the switches in place. Yeah, and I prefer it leaning off towards there. So that's that done. We'll change our bigger screwdriver bit. And we'll get ready to pop this floor in place, I think. So let's put a bit of oil on there in anticipation. Let's bring our chassis in and we'll get our floor in place. So this is the section that's going in. Okay. And they're going up underneath there. So let's grab that. Move the dashboard somewhere safe. And we'll bring in our chassis. Like that. Now I've got my floor resting on there at the moment. For a reason, because I've gone ahead and done some of my wiring. But underneath mine I've got additional wires because I've put in a bat phone and things like that. So I've actually got my battery cables soldered all in there, and also I've made a connection to the detector scope as well for the bat phone. Okay, and I've also got a working interior light. Don't know if you can see that behind that fire extinguisher. And also at the back there, I have my working back computer. If I tilt that up, see that? So I've gone ahead and done all of that on my own. So let's line this floor up. Now you've got 4 little raised pegs, and they go in these recesses. So lining them up is a bit tricky, but they will go. Now's the time to make sure you've pulled all your cables out. I've hot glued a lot of mine in place to stop them flapping around. And the key one for me is making sure I keep the detector scope one so that I can reconnect it. So once I get my first post lined up, I should be okay. Around about there. So I'm going to go ahead and fire a screw up in there. Like that. Ah, perfect. Whew. Always worrying when you're getting the first one lined up. Once the first one's in, you're laughing. Because everything wants to move and ping out the way, and you don't want that. Let that run down that thread. And by powers of deduction, they should all now go in. Like that. That's 2 in. On a roll here. Let's grab that one. Bit of oil. And I'm going to spin the chassis round. And I want to make sure I can still find my detector scope cable connector, which is just there. Okay. Just buried under there. So I'm happy now. Bring you up out the way. Have you down there. And spin you up now. Just like so. Like I say, once you get that first screw in, folks, it really does go straight forward. I'm pulling that down nice and tight. Don't go too mad with the tightness though, because you might snap the lug off. And then we've got one more screw up under there. Like that. And that is the interior all in. Looking rather swanky, isn't she? I think so. So that's that interior sorted. Tighten all my wheels up because I don't want them falling off or anything. So that's all of that done. and the dashboard with the detector scope ready to connect. Somewhat like that. Okay, folks? But I will leave that one there today. That is today's instalment of the Batmobile. Don't forget, if you'd like this for yourselves, folks, head over to the Fanhome website. There's a clickable link in the description below. Pop. And you too can be building this on your bench. Also, to help me out, if you can give little Fester a click in the corner there and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me grow my channel, and I do appreciate it. Ring the bell whilst you're there and select all. That way you'll get notified of future video releases. In the meantime, thanks so much for coming in and keeping me company. Stay safe and well. Bye-bye for now.